Learn the life lessons of the ancient Freemasons to create advantage in life. Dost thou love life? Then do not squander time, for that's the stuff life is made of. Our labor preserves us from 3 great evils: weariness, vice, and want. Keep your eyes wide open before marriage, half shut afterwards. If you could kick the person in the pants responsible for most of your trouble, you wouldn't sit for a month. Whatever is begun in anger ends in shame. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Rather go to bed without dinner than to rise in debt. When you are asked if you can do a job, tell 'em, certainly I can. Then get busy and find out how to do it. The only way to keep your health is to eat what you don't want, drink what you don't like, and do what you'd rather not. Blessed is he that expects nothing, for he shall never be disappointed. A man can never have too much red wine, too many books, or too much ammunition. I think there is only one quality worse than hardness of heart, and that is softness of head. Always forgive your enemies, nothing annoys them so much. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. The longer we dwell on our misfortunes, the greater is their power to harm us. By land, they're not making it anymore. Always acknowledge fault frankly. This will throw those in authority off guard and give you an opportunity to make a choice. Love your enemies, for they tell you your faults. There are 3 things extremely hard: steal a diamond, and to know oneself. In this world nothing can be said to be certain, except death and taxes. Search others for their virtues, thyself for thy vices. What more valuable than gold? Diamonds. Than diamonds. When you're good to others, you're best to yourself. Don't think money does everything, or you are going to end up doing everything for money. I am an old man and have known a great many troubles, but most of them never happened. Only 2 things we'll regret on deathbed: that we are a little loved and little traveled. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. To be busy is man's only happiness. You have enemies. Good. That means you've stood up for something, sometime in your life. There are 869 different forms of lying, but only one of them has been squarely forbidden. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. There are 800. Tragedy is that we get old too soon and wise too late. Whatever a man's age, he can reduce it by several years by putting a bright-colored flower in his buttonhole. The man WHO is a pessimist before 48 knows too much. If he is an optimist after it, he knows too little. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. There is no sadder sight than a young pessimist. It is a wise child that knows its own father, and an unusual one that unreservedly approves of him. CRIEF can take care of itself. But to get the full value of a joy, you must have somebody to divide it with. The most important single ingredient in the formula of success is knowing how to get along with people. Better a broken promise than none at all. What we have done for ourselves alone dies with us. What we have done for others and the world remains and is immortal. Circumstances make man, not man circumstances. He that is good at making excuses is seldom good at anything else. Remember not only to say the right thing in the right place, but far more difficult still, to leave unsaid the wrong thing at the tempting moment. The greatest lesson in life is to know that even fools are right sometimes. Big jobs usually go to the men. Who prove their ability to outgrow small ones. Never throughout history has a man who lived a life of ease left a name worth remembering. One ought never to turn one's back on a threatened danger and try to run away from it. If you do that, you will double the danger. But if you meet it promptly and without flinching, you will reduce the danger by half. Actions are the seeds of fate. Deeds grow into destiny. One of the greatest discoveries a man makes, one of his great surprises, is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. Let us live so that when we come to die, even the undertaker will be sorry. I would rather obey a fine lion, much stronger than myself, than 200 rats of my own species. If a man empties his purse into his head, no one can take it from him. Associate with men of good quality if you esteem our own reputation, for it is better to be alone than in bad company. Write injuries in dust, benefits in marble. There are many ways of going forward, but only one way of standing still. When you're finished changing, you're finished. Keep away from people. Who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that, but the really great make you feel that you, too, can become great. Hide not your talents. They for use were made. What's a sundial in the shade? The truth must be served like a coat, and not thrown in the face like a wet towel. He that falls in love with himself will have no rivals. Tricks and treachery are the practice of fools that don't have brains enough to be honest. Never argue with stupid people. They'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. Courage is rightly esteemed the first of human qualities, because it is the quality which guarantees all others. The happiest of all lives is a busy solitude. Whenever there is a hard job to be done, I assign it to a lazy man. He is sure to find an easy way of doing it. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. To lengthen thy life, lessen thy meals. Do something every day that you don't want to do. This is the golden rule for acquiring the habit of doing your duty without pain. Think how difficult it is to change yourself, and you will understand how insignificant your opportunities are to change others. It is enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning.